welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana Chu here at Slow Gaze. My channel is all about slowing down, taking a look at what you have, appreciating it, and turning the gaze inwards. Today I want to go over what helped me through my first month, technically a month and a half, of my first low buy ever. I'm doing a 6-month low buy. The announcement is linked down below. I have rules around budget and spending and rationalizing why I want to bring things into my collection, different look at my consumerist habits, and then seeing how that's working for me. So far, I haven't gone off budget or over budget, but I have spent basically all of my beauty budget, and I'll tell you about that in a second here. If you're new to my channel, welcome so much. I'm so happy to have you. I know that there have been a lot of new faces. Thanks for getting to know me here. Subscribe if you'd like to. It really helps my little channel grow, and if you're interested in supporting me in my full-time goal of creating content and figuring out how to upgrade the quality of my videos, you can always buy me a coffee. Again, that's linked down below if you don't know what that means. So without further ado, I'm going to dive right in to the 3 things that I learned from even just this first month of a low buy and how that has already changed my thinking. Then I'll show you the products that I did buy and tell you the prices and kind of break down the budget. Ready? Okay. It's like I'm cheerleading. Ready? Okay. I'll never do that again. Don't worry. Number 1, I'm learning that I've become way more obsessive about tracking and finances and figuring out the perfect thing for my collection as a whole and writing it all down, making lists, tracking prices and sales. Like, it's become way more mentally suffocating than I thought it would be. I don't enjoy this kind of obsessiveness. I know that's a strong word. If I'm not looking for something, my mind is searching or processing. And if I'm not going through and decluttering things, my mind is still on constantly about this low buy. So that has been an adverse effect. I would really like to take a step back from all of this obsessive behavior and take a step back from all the numbers, because the rules of a low buy, the budget itself, there's so many things that seem really granular and really helpful with a structure. However, this is all in a logical space, and I think shopping is highly emotional. So that's over here. We've got the Dionysus, the Bacchus, we've got the Apollo over here. They're like chaos and order, essentially. And I feel like I'm doing a lot of work around the numbers, and I'm not doing the actual work, which is the emotions behind why I like to shop. I love shopping. I just love scrolling, seeing what's new, seeing how products can transform me. It brings my adrenaline up, it gets me happy, it fills time. Like, there's so much behind it that I want to address, but it's not being addressed in the numbers, and that's all I'm focusing on. So this low buy experience has been helpful because a budget, it's part and parcel. I need to know how much I'm spending to be able to meet my financial goals. However, I don't like this curation of perfection that has come with it and come with the idea of like buying so much less. The declutters have helped a lot. I'm way more able to see my collection as a whole, see what's missing and fill it, but I really want to emphasize in the future months coming up of just buying what's okay and letting it fit in my collection and playing with it and just working with it versus finding the exact thing to fit that exact spot in my collection that I think that I need, and having so much pressure around this tiny small object that isn't meant to cause me this much strife. So if I were to turn it into a tip for you, it would be take a look at the numbers, be vigilant of the numbers, but don't let that control your life. Take a look at your emotions, take a look at all of the things that are triggering you, and really step back, give yourself the permission to forgive yourself, float above it. Just find the detachment, the sweet spot, and not let this become something that billows into a ball of guilt or anything like that. That brings me to my second point. I identify as a woman and I present as a woman. I think I do fall into the feminine category. I love putting colors on my face to enhance the look of it or to provide contrast and self-expression. And if you're watching this channel, you probably ascribe to that too, however you identify. That said, there's so much in this feminine realm that has been focusing on the cult of perfection, the cult of being able to be really high functioning at makeup, at knowing how to budget finances, at making lists, at figuring out basically your life and being in charge of your life really well automatically. This is something that I'm trying to unlearn and unravel and understand. Yes, there is a cult of perfectionism with anybody in society, but for women especially, you're supposed to know not only how to dress well, but how to dress your face well, how to shop well, and how to budget well. Any kind of deviation from that can become crippling. So this low buy is not yet another noose around these really rigid ideas of femininity. I think this low buy can help free us from the idea that we have to be good at everything. This is meant to be difficult. This is meant to be a challenge. A low buy is supposed to be kind of breaking free from this consumerist cycle. It's also saying no to all the marketers that are saying, yes, you need this one more thing. You're saying no, and it's a very active, courageous, disruptive act. I don't think that a low buy is a natural feeling, especially now during a pandemic. I don't think a low buy is something that is highly mainstream. I don't know friends that are exactly using this language or self-medicating with this kind of reverse therapy, because we're basically rehabilitating our own behaviors, and that's not easy to do on your own. And that's why I wanted to share my journey with you. My journey will look exactly like no one else's journey, and it really shouldn't. But I think the pressures that be are existent in different amounts for everybody. So I'd love to acknowledge that and just say that no, you're not supposed to be perfect at this. I'm not perfect at this. We can empower each other to recognize that. Let's celebrate our failures through this. I don't want to celebrate every single milestone. What if I don't hit every milestone? Then I'll just be at a loss. I'll feel like I've failed, when really all the mini failures and all the ways that I'm not necessarily being perfect in my role that's been defined for me, those are the things to celebrate. The rule breaks, the way to kind of break free. So it's paradoxical because I've made all these rules for myself to follow, but I'm also recognizing that to not adhere to them actually can be freeing and is something to be celebrated as well. Lastly, decluttering has helped me immensely. At first, I was like, how do I get from here, this maximalist state where I have basically 78 different eyeshadow palettes of what have you, how do I get to a point where I just have one or two? It just seems impossible. But every step that I take towards that goal, it feels like it gets easier. It's not because I've changed into this wonderful person that I think that I'm supposed to be. It's because everything is relative. The fewer eyeshadow palettes that I have, then I'm like, wow, I actually don't need that many lipstick colors to go with all the whack colors that I have. And then I have way too many highlighters and bronzers, and it just sort of spirals in the way that I want. It's going towards a goal. It'll converge. So I'm really excited about that. The theory of relativity is strong. So just stick with it. It's gonna take a lot of time. Be patient, focus on what you want, and just know and trust that you'll get there. It's gonna be one step at a time, like anything else. So I'm not gonna do a review on everything that I did purchase yet. This is not the video for it, but for clothing, I had a $300 original budget. I bought something off of ThredUp. It's this Madewell jumpsuit. Ta-da! Perfectly poopy brown. It is long sleeve, long pants. It has a nice little cinch at the waist, at the back here, so I don't look like I'm just wearing a giant poopy diaper. Maybe that's how I look. I love it. It's so comfy. It was $34, I think. $34 off of ThredUp. I have $266 left for clothing. I think that I'm gonna be spending that budget really soon. As for shoes and accessories, I bought this pair of earrings. It's by a brand called Benu Made. They're out of the Czech Republic. I found them on Etsy, and these are actually leather. If I turn them around, they're basically feather thin. They're so paper thin, and it's a gilded leather. So I love the way they dangle and they drape. They're so much fun, and I feel like I'm a little ritzier. Love them. Indie made, handmade, I love them. I'll link them down below. That gives me another $450 to spend for accessories, shoes, and bags. Beauty is where I basically went almost bust. I will show you the numbers, but basically I have maybe $20 or 20 something left to buy skincare with for the next 4.5 months. So I have to decide whether or not I would allow myself to borrow some of the budget from, let's say, shoes and handbags over to my beauty budget. We'll see. Chanel's highlighter right here, we have it in the pearly lightest shade. This was $48. I have two lipsticks from Rouge by Jean Dema, and we have it in Camille and in Alex, their new Stylo, which I think is a little bit more matte finish, like a powdery finish. Ta-da! I'll do reviews on this if you'd like, because this actually is a different shade of red to Rouge's signature palette. I know that they look like they're all the same reds, but I don't know if people are even still wearing red lipsticks nowadays. I got two more Melt lipsticks. One is 710, which I'm wearing right now. One is Ginger, and I have Frozen 2 and a palette. I'll tell you more about that later. And then this ColourPop Lightning Bug, which a viewer had actually recommended to me. You know who you are. I'm so excited about it. It's this gorgeous gilded copper tone. Last two things, I did get something from Westman Atelier, their Peau de Pêche highlighter, and the Uncover Up in shade 22 by RMS Beauté. This is all for my low buy check-in. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It would really mean a lot to me. And hit this thumbs up button, I guess. That's one of the best compliments you can give me today if you liked this video. I will check in soon. I'll see you later, and take care. Be safe, vote, lead with love, and I'll see you on my next video. Adios.
Please handle this side up. You got me upside down. Should only feel this much.